More than 2 million Australian soldiers have served our nation since the Australian Army was formed in 1901. The world has changed remarkably since then, but the fundamental nature of warfare is enduringly human. War is still a battle of wills, ultimately fought and decided by people. However, where Australians, our values, or our national interests are threatened, we must confront the realities of war. War is intrinsically violent. It's the most demanding human endeavour, physically, mentally, and spiritually.
My dear Martha, Lilia, George and Fred, I have been through hell 10 times over. We were joined by the British at Pozieres and took the villages and woods after weeks of fierce fighting. No writer can describe the cruel, murderous battlefield to the full. It is awful, awful, and I have existed in it for 7 days. 7 days of absolute torture.
The battle kept dragging on, and dead bodies are dead, or they dragged their bodies. They're either hoping to die or wishing to die.
My tunic is rotten with other men's blood, partly splattered with a comrade's brains. It is horrible. But why should the people at home not know?
Pozieres will never be forgotten by thousands. What a village, what a veritable valley of death. Hundreds of handsome young officers lie there, unburied and left.
Service demands us to place purpose and people before ourselves. We must be resilient if we are to prevail.
Port Moresby's the front line of Australia. There I'd be able to do something about defending our country. I was a bit excited about going on the track. It was an adventure. We were going to go into some very wild country.
Someone described it as being 100 mile cramped into 50 because a lot of the distance was up and down.
Well, one word covers it all. It was exhausting.
To get up required tremendous amount of effort, grabbing onto trees and grass either side of the track.
It didn't get you down, even though it was hard. You still had that willingness to get up and go first thing the next morning.
The jungle's so thick, it's a wonder there was any battles fought at all. We got bombed by a mountain gun. Shells are landing all around.
And then all of a sudden this burst of gunfire. The very first burst hit me, and I went down.
I used to accept things as they came, and I think the rest of the girls did too. Nurses take what's given to them. I feel it made me stronger in character. And one didn't have that strength of character, you really couldn't have done it.
Blamey once said that every soldier must be prepared to die. I disagree with that. I think that every soldier must be prepared to live. She'll be right, mate, was the attitude.
In the face of violence and aggression, our resolve and resilience must be matched by our compassion. Without compassion, we lose our moral compass and authority. We become vulnerable to the corruption of war.
I had a phone call and said, we would like you to go to Rwanda. My first reaction was, where's Rwanda? And then we saw these horrific pictures coming through the television and the newspapers.
Hundreds of thousands of people had been actively involved in the genocide. How do you kill 800,000 to 1 million people in 12 weeks?
What we did see was some shocking conditions.
There was no electricity, no water, no amenities, no law, no order.
We saw the beginnings of a meningococcal meningitis outbreak in Caballo camp. We got together Canadians, Australians, British forces, a number of NGOs. This coalition immunised nearly 30,000 kids in 48 hours. It was just absolutely remarkable. Medicine's a common language. There are shared values, the shared value of compassion.
I saw tremendous acts of courage by the Australian soldiers that were there. The Australian section came under fire from people within the refugee compound, and these soldiers proudly carried their wounded and didn't dodge and duck to save their own lives.
Some would say, no, you don't treat them, they're murderers. No, you treat everybody. That's our role in life.
Our history has taught us that there are no true winners in war. War inevitably leads to human suffering. Our focus every day is to preserve peace. This is an equally human endeavour.
Listening to stories of veterans, something that sticks out in my mind is that they had their mates beside them, going through the same situation. They wouldn't let each other down when things got tough, and that's something that hasn't changed and it's a testament to the character of the Australian soldier. So I chose to serve because I'm proud of my great-grandfather's service. He fought in World War I. We acknowledge and have a deep respect for those who've come before us who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, giving their lives for our way of life. Whether it be, like myself, missing my son's first birthday, or looking for the hard job in a section, to take the burden off your mates, we accept that as part of the job. Being a good soldier is simply choosing the hard right over the easy wrong decision, being selfless and a good mate, as well as being dedicated to continually improving in pursuit of achieving the mission.